Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Get Your Goat Golf podcast. And if you've been paying attention or following me for a little bit, that you know that my 16-year-old son has recently taken up golf this year. Picked it up, joined the golf team back in April, and he's absolutely fallen in love with the game. He's been out way more times than I have this year. He's picking up things left and right, definitely better golfer than I was at the age of 16. But at the same time, it's also fun watching him learn what a stupid game golf is. And what do I mean by that? Well, it's fun listening to him call me up one day and tell me how great he played, and he was just killing it and making his long drives and didn't lose any balls and making his putts. And then the very next day, hearing him so frustrating and talking about how he hates golf. And that, as I've explained to him numerous times this year, that's just golf. That's how it works. He totally doesn't understand how one day he can shoot a 45, his best round ever, and the very next day shoot a 63. And I don't understand it. I mean, because I do that. I do that in the same round sometimes when I go out and play 18 holes. I've legitimately gone out and shot low 40s on the front nine, and the back nine shoot upper 50s. So, like I've explained to him, that's just golf. I've even had it happen to me mid-round where first 7-8 holes I'm doing good, and then all of a sudden the last couple holes it looks like I can't or never have swung a golf club in my life. And it's a stupid game. And I've explained to it over and over and over again. Like, even myself this year, I've been incredibly frustrated. I've only got to go out a handful of times because of kids and family stuff. I've got my younger son who did track and plays baseball, and I helped coach the baseball team. And then my older son was playing golf on the golf course, and just haven't had a whole lot of times to go out. But the times that I have gone out, it's just been so inconsistent. And the inconsistencies, consistently inconsistent, it's different things every time. Like I said, I went out, the first time I went out, was driving the ball really well. Short game and putting was horrible. Second time I go out, I was chipping and putting decently, but really was pretty inconsistent with my drives and my mid-game. And this last time I went out, it was funny because it actually felt like my worst round, but I had my best round, but I couldn't drive the ball at all. Literally 9 tee shots, 9 garbage, trash tee shots. But my game from 150 yards in was fantastic. Like I said, 120 yards in, I was putting it within 6 to 10 feet and one putting. So, as I've explained to my son numerous times, and that's one of the first things that I said to him at the beginning of his golf journey was, if he could get good within 100, 150 yards in, that's where you're going to make up most of your strokes. And it might not be the prettiest, it might not be fun, for when you're first golfing, because everybody, when they first start golfing, even 20, 30 years into it, it's they want to drive the ball, they want to hit it long. And that's all fine and well. I get it. Like I said, I want to hit the ball long. I get that same thing. But if you can hit the ball not long, but maybe just medium distance, but you're hitting it straight, and you've got that short game dialed in and can putt well, you're going to put way better scores up than if you hit bombs every time, but then your short game sucks. But it's still frustrating. Like I said, I've the last couple of weeks, I felt like my short game's been dialed in, but then my drives aren't, which is so odd and frustrating, because it has been in the past. It's been, my drives have been pretty decently. Even if I was struggling a little bit, I'd hit at least half of my drives good. But then it would be the short game that would really, really let me down. And like I said, that's how my first round of the year went this year. I was driving the ball well, short game, garbage. 3 putt in every hole, 10 to 30 yards off the green, not putting it close to the hole enough to one or even. You should always be able to 2 putt, but I wasn't able to 2 putt. You should be able to do that. And I've spent a lot of time not actually going golfing. What I like to do is I go up to my local elementary school. It used to be a middle school, so they have a football field that doesn't really get used as a football field. They use it more for youth soccer and things like that. But I go up and I take my pitching wedge, my 54-degree iron, and I go out there and hit balls. And basically try to go from goalpost to goalpost, which is 120 yards. There's about 20 yards past the goalpost on each end, maybe 30 yards on each end to where the fence is. So if I hit it longer than 120 yards, I'm all right. But I've been really, really doing that a lot, where I just go, I grab whatever iron I'm working with that day, grab 4 balls, sit at one goalpost, try to hit it to the other goalpost, walk 120 yards, and then do it back. And then I go back and forth. And I do that maybe 10, 15 times. So I'm hitting 40 to 50 balls, getting some exercise on the walk back. And that's really helped that 120-yard game. Like I said, when I went out last week, 120 yards, I was money. But what was frustrating, like I said, is the driving right now. The driving is just so off. And that's another thing where the son was kind of saying, like, he just doesn't get it. Because, he went with me to the driving range before that last round, and I was piping my drives straight, long, where I couldn't wait to go out and get on the golf course. And then when we went on to the golf course that next day is when I didn't have a good drive the whole time. And he was like, what the heck? And I explained to him, that's golf. That's golf. And like I said, I try to get out there as much as I can. Early season's always tough because of the kids' sport, so that's starting to wrap up a little bit where I start getting out a bit more, but that is what I like to do. We like to go out there. I like to get on that football field, hit clubs. I introduced something to my son today I'll go up to the local golf course, buy a bucket of balls, hit a bucket of balls, and then I go out to their little chipping green, practice chipping from close for about 20, 30 minutes, practice putting for about 20, 30 minutes. And that really, really gets a good overall work for the game. So I've explained to my son, it's not just about going out there and just hitting the ball and hitting as many times as you can. It's about getting good reps in, like practicing with a purpose. Like I said, if I'm going out to the driving range, I might use 2 or 3 clubs with a specific goal. This is the distance, this is the target that I'm looking for, and trying to get that target, trying to get to where the swing feels good. When I'm going out to the chipping, same thing, trying to get, if I'm a close chip, 10, 20 yards off the green, you have to get it in there where it's close enough where you can 1-putt. As I explained to my son, from that distance, you should be trying to make it, but if you're not making it, you should be able to putt it from 1. And, it's funny because I think for the longest time in my golf career, that was the biggest struggle for me, is my short game's always been horrible. And I've really made it a focus in the last year or two to let's really try to dial that in. Like, so I lose so many strokes in my short game. And so we had a little competition. We'd take 4 balls and we'd go for the same hole and see who can get it the closest. And do it again. We did like 6, 7 rounds, and he beat me. His short game was actually pretty decent. And I learned that's because for his golf team, that's what their practice is a lot of time. They have up and down practice, which I think is fantastic. But it's funny. I would say right now, at 16 years old, 3 months into his career, his short game is better than mine, which for me is sad. I still drive the ball better than him. I still putt better than him. His putting has gotten better, but his putting still needs work, especially the lag putts. From inside 10 feet, he's pretty good. If he's within 6 feet, I feel more times than not he's going to make it. Within 10 feet, he's going to get close. But it's those, when you start getting to 20, 30 feet away, he can't put that 20 to 30 foot putt within the 6 feet. That's where he struggles. But within 6 feet, he's good. So, it's been fun. It's been fun working with him. It's been fun seeing him go through this journey because he loves it. Like I said, he's absolutely in love with golf, which makes me incredibly happy because I love golf. And it just gives us reasons to go out and play together and work together. And, I won't be surprised if he beats me here pretty soon. We've gone out together where we've actually kept score 3 times. 2 of them haven't really been close, but one was close. One, I think I beat him by 4, and that was with him having an 11 on a hole. So, if he didn't have that one bad hole, he might have beat old Pops, which is fantastic. I hope he does. I hope he does. I remember when I first started playing golf, I learned to play golf right at the same time my dad was learning to golf. So we had kind of learned together. And when we first started playing, he was better than me. And I don't really remember when it was that I became better than him. But I remember that was always my goal, is that I wanted to be better than my dad. And I'm imagining Quentin feels the same way. He wants to be better than his dad. And I hope that he does get better than his dad. But the great thing is that we can go out there and we can go and play golf and we can spend time together. Because as I always mentioned to him, was one of my favorite things and one of the things that I remember with my dad is playing golf. I started playing golf with him probably when I was 14 or 15. But then as an adults, we got to the point where we were playing at least once a week together. And this is something that we did up until he was in his late 50s. He passed away at 62, and he couldn't really golf in his last couple of years. His arthritis was really bad. We might go out once a year just to go. And I can remember every time we would go, we'd both hit that first tee shot, and we'd start walking down, and we'd look at each other, and we're off. And it was always one of the things that we'd always said, was a bad day on the golf course is better than a good day at work, and that has always held true. So I cherish those memories of golfing with my dad, and I imagine that he cherished golfing with me as well. And so that's something that I'm looking forward to with my son, is that, I'm to the age where I can't play basketball with him anymore. I can't play baseball with him or football or anything like that with him, but I can play golf with him for a long time. And that's the journey that I'm looking forward to. And if he's watching this, he's probably laughing and realizing how much we've talked about golf being a stupid game. But it really is. It's got to be the stupidest game ever. It's so funny. It's one of those games, you don't have to be good at it to have fun, but you can legitimately be out for a whole round and struggle and struggle and struggle and be mad and be pissed and hate it. And then all of a sudden you hit that one great shot. And then it's all back again. And it's like, oh, I can do this. And I'm trying to remember who it was that said the thing about golf, which makes it so great compared to like other sports, is that, not nobody, but if you don't throw a 98 mile per hour fastball, it's not like you're just going to go out there one day randomly and throw a 98 mile per hour fastball. If you can't dunk a basketball, you're not just going to randomly just one day go out there and dunk a basketball. But in golf, although it might not be all the time, it might not be hardly ever, but every now and then you could go hit a tour quality shot and all of a sudden feel like you're the greatest golfer in the world. And then you can go out and 4-putt that next hole and feel like you've never golfed before. And that's why, even though it's the stupidest game in the world, it is the greatest game in the world. So, hey, I'm going to keep talking about this journey, like I said, with my son it's an even better journey. But keep following along. We'll keep talking golf. We'll keep talking about our progress, and how it goes. So, hey, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Check us out on our socials. And yeah, let's go hit them straight, guys.